Hi, I'm Chris from Airwindows, and I am here to show you some interesting things about a Moog, this Moog DFAM, Drummer from Another Mother. Yep, thanks to my Patreon and stuff working good, I have been able to get into stuff that is very interesting, and I am here to show you how to use it. As you can see, I've also got other stuff going on where my hope is, with this modular stuff, the idea is to be able to, if you're fortunate or things are going well, save up and get fancy stuff like this, but also fill in with a bunch of other stuff that's a lot more affordable that you can build yourself. You'll also notice I have some effects boxes mounted onto the rack thing, and I'm looking at ways to be able to do that sort of stuff as well. But let's just start off by making some noise happen. I could call it music, but The idea here is that I got this going on . Got a number of things happening here. We've got everything is being timed off a Sox box, which will eventually drive this one as well. I got a Tans mouse going for these hats and things. And our goal today is to replace this bass drum with the Moog DFAM, because my opinion is it is the best bass drum you could have. So firstly, let's see what we got. Oh, I'm giving away one of my tricks. The DFAM works kind of like this. You've got these sounds. I've got it set up in such a way that this is a pretty decent kick drum. I'm doing the pitch mod on 1 and 2. Hard sync is off. The waves could be whichever you like, depending upon what sound you want. VCS is probably going to be LP. This HP is very harsh there. VCA decay is the length of your amplitude. VCO decay is how quickly this pitch goes down, and it's also controlled. Oh, actually, hang on. No, VCO decay is not controlled by this, but VCA EG means you can get a sharper attack on fast, which I think is usually going to be more useful. I think the decays go kind of like this. If it's slow, the decay is kind of going down, but if it's fast, you've got more of an exponential thing that'll work better for kick drums. You got your usual cutoff and resonance. This is probably my frequency modulation amount. Check this out. Oh, unless it's not. Okay. This is a very interesting drum kit. As you can see, I've got the velocities all at max and the pitches all at min, so I can dial in the frequency rather high and get what I want. If I include the other level, we can manipulate it and then you can see our pitch can be controlled this way, but that's not really what I'm here to demonstrate. There's lots of time to play with that stuff. Here, and of course you got your resonance. So there are many ways to get useful drum-like sounds out of this guy. And here's our VCF decay. That also can go from very fast to very slow. Oh, and the reason we were getting this noise here was noise X level is up. So if I turn this down and this down, what we get is a more normal sounding bass drum. The reason it's doing this is I have VCO1 EG amount high and the EG is on fast. On slow, as you can see, it's more smooth. On fast, you get this attack that's very useful for a kick drum. And generally you get to adjust these within small little areas if you're trying for a kick drum-like behavior. Now what's going on here, I'm tempted to throw this in just for fun. You can have two of these going on. Dial that in as well. And then this is being VCF decay. It's your filter. So we can have a nice bright attack. We'll turn up resonance to hear where the attack is. And then if you turn the VCF decay down, and this is setting the envelope on it, so VCF decay is going to respond to this. But with this flat, and it goes to minus as well as plus, you've just got a fixed frequency going on here. This also gives you some noise. So you can get noise here and here. Now we're going to take the resonance back down. And what we've got here, maybe we'll want to add a little bit of the frequency modulation. Nice weird drum sound. If you've got the frequency modulation high, and you're playing with the frequencies against each other, and they're both doing envelopes, this is where you can get some interesting custom drum sounds. And of course all of these have the patch bay, so we can patch stuff into these and do wonderful crazy things. That's for later. The question becomes, how do we get it to sync with this? As you can see, I've got this going. Now what they tell you to do is run your clock, and this is a sign on the Mother32. I've set it to every 4 beats. Also note that with the MIDI coming in, you can do silly stuff, like check this out. Tempo. can go in different timings from the MIDI. Our timing is coming from MIDI, it's coming from this aux and it's going through a MIDI splitter, so I could run two of these off of the same MIDI channel. So we've got that going on. They will tell you to go to Advanced Clock. Now that makes sense. That's logical enough. I'm trying to get the synchronization in there. And as you can see, this follows the clock very dutifully. And then if we unplug it, it'll just run. However, there is a special trick that you should use instead of going by advanced clock. We've still got a sine set to every 4 beats. You can also do it to every beat or every other beat. I like it in every 4 beats for the... You can do more complicated things with this. I don't have it set up to do that right now, so it's just doing a pulse. Plug it into run stop. That's what you're going to want to do, and I'll show you why. If you plug it into run stop, we got this going, and we've got Tan's mouse is also being clocked off of the MIDI output of this aux box. Again, it's going through a splitter. The splitter is actually getting one of these. So it's one from the MIDI of this aux box, and it's just clock. It's not sending information. And it's splitting the clock into 4 places. And one of them's driving the Tan's mouse, one of them's driving this Moog. It's only clock. Here's what you do. Hit run stop. DFAM is now running. It is turning run and stop on and off with the click that's coming through here. So we got that going on. If you turn up tempo, you start to bring the internal synthesizer in to the range where it'll function. And when you hit run it's the same as advancing at 1. So you can see that that is synchronized. And if you learn how it reacts to this kind of stuff, as you can see, I've got it in sync with the downbeat. Watch this. How'd you like that? This is why to plug into run stop instead of advanced clock. Half of the fun of using these is synchronizing them through something like MIDI, where it doesn't have to take notes in. This is just as good of a sync as a click, and you can run it from things like a aux. As you can hear, it's syncing really nice. When you've got it synced through the MIDI, and a Mother 32 is doing this, it will generate its own clock based on tempo gate length. And and you mess with it a little bit, you can get it back into the zone. Here's what's happening. We're turning run and stop on and off based on every 4 clicks of this. So you keep jamming on the knob until it gets back into sync. But if your tempo here is not in sync with turning it on and off with the run stop, it'll start skipping beats. When it skips beats, it will do that not in synchronization with the pulse, but with something else. And then it'll be reset like a hard sync, like this hard sync knob in the waveform, as the pulse comes in. So you have these little zones where it'll track each other. These will track each other. And you can get into these zones where they're doing interesting things rhythmically. And every time that 4th beat comes in, every other time actually, because it's going to be on 8th beats, because part of it is hitting the stop, it'll be resetting this tempo. But the tempo is free running off of the oscillator here, the tempo oscillator, which is basically a pulse coming along. So it'll get restarted . And it's basically just how you set these 2 knobs. But little Aphex Twin there. I think I can even get a little bit of an edge here where if the tempo is low, it'll sort of try to lag a little bit and then maybe occasionally miss a beat. And if I have it pushing the tempo, it feels like it's trying to sit on top of the beat. So just barely cracked on is what'll set up with this sort of double time thing going on. And again, this is driven by tempo. I can have this chasing the MIDI in, and the tempo goes really way far down, and it's barely advancing at all. When you're doing that, it'll alternate between running and stopping. But this tempo, as slow as it is free running at this point. And if we want to go back to the actual beat again, and then trying to find that beat again. So that's Drummer from Another Mother. This is the desirable way to set these guys up together. Again, you can do this. If you do that, tempo means nothing. You can't even drive it with something else, and if you've got this set up with the run stop, you can run something into the tempo and have that go crazy on you too. But if you've got it in advanced clock, as you're told to do, the best you can hope for is whatever you told the assign out to be, whether that be every beat, every 2 beats, or every 4 beats. And yeah, that's basically pretty cool. But if you use the tempo knob and run stop, you can do silly, evil, wicked things. There you go. Death metal. Delicate work finding these, but and of course you can do silly things. So as you can see, you can do lots of fun things with this. And it's all based on messing with these simple knobs. You want to be timing a Moog 32 with MIDI from something else, because you can time in parallel with a bunch of other things. Using something like this, you just need a MIDI clock. Once you've got a MIDI clock, you can do this madness with tempo gate length. And if you pipe this to the run stop, you can do that madness with the DFAM. I hope you've enjoyed this little video, and I look forward to doing many more like it, and also stuff on Twitch where I'm just making music. If you want to call this music, it's crazy, but it's pretty techno-y. So who knows, maybe people will like it. And if it's the stuff that I'm doing on Twitch, you get the live mixer output rather than this, which is just this little camera. I wanted to let you be able to see what I was touching on the DFAM. Thank you very much. Talk to you later.